hopefully we keep that going. I know today we're right at that lower end of the opening range breakdown. So we'll see if we'll get one final flush here before the close to keep our win streak going. How's everyone doing? Hey, Jason.
Hello, sir. Hi, Graham.
Now, Jason, I don't know if some of you guys have probably met Jason before, at least virtually. Jason was a former student who he was a 60-minute income member, maybe quite a few other programs, and he really stood out to me because he would send me probably every week little data points and recaps and nuggets that he found in the stock market from our trades, from our programs. And so we went ahead and brought Jason on to work alongside of us, and it's just been he's done a fantastic job. Really, the man, the myth, the legend himself. So we're having a good time. And he went ahead and did the hard work digging back through all of the possible trade entries for 60 minute back to 2023. It's over 500 trades he sampled. And today we're going to walk through some of the insights from that data. And I know we're still optimizing. I know you guys have been eagerly waiting for a masterclass, some updates for you guys. So we wanted to get you on today and just show you what are some of the things Jason's dug up? What are some of the changes or optimizations we may be making here to the portfolio to hopefully keep our win streak, win rates high? So with that said, Jason, you want to go ahead and steal the screen and
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah, Michael
can.
says it's coach. Yep.
Hi, Michael. How you doing, buddy? All right. Let's see here. Let's let's try it this way. Let's try the over the shoulder. All right. Graham, can you see my screen, my little slideshow here?
Yes. Yes, I can. And we did have Karen asking if there will be a replay. Yes, we'll get a replay for you guys. Let me make sure we are recording. We can go ahead and request to record. Oh, wait, Deanna, can you start the recording? Oh, you are recording. I don't know why I said I could turn it on. All right, we're recording. This will be in the members area for you guys after the fact.
Okay. All right, great. Are you able to see my 60-minute trade screen here?
Yep.
All right. So this is like Graham said, we completed 2025 and we thought this is a great time to review and to look at what we've done with this program. And so we wanted to look at the trades now that we actually have live data and actually see what has this trade done and are there ways that we can make it better. So the first thing is, see if I could get this to scroll ahead. There we go. All right. So how did 2025 go, right? Well, if you think back, so Graham started trading this. He started back testing it first, then he started trading it himself in February. I believe it's February 18th. He started trading it, and then he would, post in Telegram, "Hey, here's my trades. This is what I'm doing," and he would hint at this. So I started at that point as he was hinting about it. I kind of put together what the trade was, and I started trading it myself too. So I was like one of the first people to say, this has a ton of potential. I want to be on board. So Graham's results from 2025. This is putting $1,000 at stake each time, right? $1,000 at risk. He made $28,111, and he had a 76% win rate. And some of you know, as he was posting throughout the summer and early spring, like even through the downfall and the tariff stuff and the bounce back, it did very, very, very well. And then we launched the program. I was trading it with him. We were commenting about this. We were testing it a little bit together, just talking about it. And I wanted to be the first member on board. And then he launched this June 20th. And I probably was the first person to sign up and put my money down because I wanted to trade it. And this is pretty good, right? If you look at this is his track record. This is what Graham did, right, over the course of time. We'd be pretty happy to put $1,000 a day in and come up with 28 grand at the end of the year. That's a pretty good year, right? Put a yes in the chat if you would like to see, $1,000 turn into $28,000 profit. I'll try to look at the chat here for a quick second. Yeah, right?
Yep. And to clarify, someone asked, is the win rate based on the 50% profit? Yes. And
Yes, this is
Jason will
based
clarify
on,
if not. Yes.
yeah, this is all based on the 50% win rate, right? So then here's the issue, right? We launched it. This is for SPX. This is one contract, or this is basically taking $1,000 of risk on SPX and closing it for 50%. You can see when he started trading it, it was ripping, and then it had a little stall, and then it started ripping. Well, but here's what happened, right? We launched this on June 20th, and from June 20th on, it only made $2,800 doing the same thing, right? SPX started chopping, our win rate went down, still positive. Putting $1,000 in a day would still make money, but this was our chart. This is our profit chart, right? And so we started off really good, then we lose a little, and look, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Would anybody like this to be your account moving forward? Is this how anybody comfortable with this being the way that your account looks moving forward all the time, right? One day up, 2 days down, 1 day up, 2 days down, sideways, 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 right? And so we wanted to look at, well, what's going on? How could we have done a little better? And to be honest, we still probably haven't completely uncovered the full reason why Graham was so successful in March, April, May, June, and then we started chopping after that. I don't think we've gotten to the bottom of it, but a lot of it has to do with volatility, as we can see. So this was what prompted us to start looking, how do we improve this, right? And so, it's okay and it's understandable, I think, if you're a member like me and you were a little frustrated in 2025 because you just didn't seem like you were gaining any traction, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? And we obviously want to do better than this. So our task, our quest, if you will, is to see how can we improve this. So I'll kind of share with you what I did. The first thing I did is I dove into 2025. And this is going to not be as pretty because it's just my spreadsheet I'm sharing with you. Graham, are you able to see my spreadsheet here for as messy as it is?
Yep.
So there's lots of stuff going on here, and it's a very busy spreadsheet, you can see. But essentially right here, these are what our trades were if you focus your eyes here. This is what actually happened, the trades we actually took. And we marked the entry time, the exit time, the day of the week, the result. I sorted these into time buckets, looking at, well, what if we traded it early from 9:40 to 10 o'clock? What if we traded it middle? What if we traded it late, right? And then what the direction was. We started looking at gaps. We started looking at what the VIX was doing. We started looking at what Vold was doing. All these things we started tracking, right? And so I went through the 177 trades from 2025 that Graham took since Graham started trading. And you can see it's a pretty long list, right? This is all great. And look, here's Graham's profits. This was great. This was great. He puts this out to everybody saying, hey, this is a great trade. And I was right there with him. And then when we got to June, it started to, here's the line. Here's where we got to June 20th, and everybody else started trading it. And then you could see like this was a bad stretch. This is a bad stretch, right? Now I'm not here, and I know I'm a little bit gloom and doom right now, but I'm not here to say,
Jason,
yeah.
sorry to cut. It might be better because they can see your camera up top, and it makes the spreadsheet kind of small if you just shared just the screen versus
Just the
over
screen.
the shoulder. Because I think it's
Okay.
going to make the spreadsheet a lot bigger for them to see. Because some people
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can change that. I might have to
Cool.
stop screen sharing. Let me try this here.
Yeah, you may have to.
Let me do content only then. How
Yes.
about that?
Perfect. There you go. There we go.
Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Can you guys see can you see the screen now pretty well? Graham, better,
There we
yes?
go. Yep. A lot better. Everyone
Okay.
in the chat's agreeing. Cool.
Okay. Okay, good. See, I'm not experienced at this kind of thing.
Oh, you're good. All
this
good.
this isn't my game. But while I might sound like gloom and doom because like, hey, this was kind of bad, right? All I'm trying to do is recognize the reality. I think we have a strong setup. I think we have a strong trade, but I think there's ways that we can make it better. So I'll just share with you a couple of things that I started doing. The first thing I started doing was I looked at, okay, does the day of the week matter? So I sorted everything by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we found, look at Fridays. Our win rate was 89% on Fridays with an average profit of $344 per trade per day, right?
It's pretty good.
Can you see this better? Is this chart
Yep.
okay?
Yep. Let us
All
know in the
right.
chat.
Yeah, let me know if you can see this. I could probably make it bigger. Would it help if
Uh,
I made it bigger?
yeah, you could do that. Yep.
I might be able to.
It's
Let me see if I can.
right under the title where it's file, edit, view, insert format.
Let me see if I can just make my whole screen bigger. What about this?
Oh yeah,
How
that
about
works too.
that?
Perfect.
Is that good?
Yep.
Nice. All right. So right, we look at this and we're like, well, Fridays look awesome. Mondays look pretty good. Wednesdays look pretty good. Tuesdays, not so much. $11 per day. And really, Thursdays were pretty weak, right? So Tuesday's the worst day. Thursdays was not as good, but you can see like it's 10 times better on Friday than it was on Thursday. All right, so that's interesting for us, right? Then we looked at time buckets. Are we better off? When Graham first started trading this, he started trading at 940. We eventually moved it to 950 as the earliest time, or 945. So look at this. Look at what happens when the entry comes, when the breakout comes before 10 o'clock or earlier. Look at that, 237, 81% win rate, right? This is about 10 times better than late and, 4 times better than in the middle, right? So looks like Kevin's been doing some analysis too.
Yep.
So then I started looking at, okay, what about day and time? What does that tell me? Well, look at Friday. Everything we did early was awesome on Fridays, right? Mondays were good early, but not nearly as good late. So maybe Mondays when the market makes a decision quickly, right? If we gap up and go, that's something that might be good, but just waiting. Okay, hi, Cynthia. Right, and you can see. So we started looking through some of these things. I don't want to take too long on any one screen, but you can see Wednesday trading early was good. In the middle was good, but late was bad. Right? We just started putting some of this stuff together. Right? Look at time. Then we were like, does it matter if we're going calls or we're going puts? We'll check this out, right? Trading late was really terrible for calls, but awesome for puts. So maybe it's the case that, if you have your range, the market's trying to figure out what it's doing. If it's calls, it's going to go right away. If it doesn't go right away and it waits and then it goes calls, not so good. If it goes puts, grab it. So you can see like huge profits here per trade, right? And then early was always, again, really good. But I love this 90% win rate trading late puts. So this is what we're trying to put together. I'll just kind of run through some of the data. You can look at it. We looked at Fridays. We then broke it down by day and then by time and then by direction, right? Now, the issue with this is that there are times when we only have like 3 entries. So do you really put a lot of stake in that? I don't. Only 2 times this happened. It's a low sample size. I don't want to make decisions off a low sample size, but it was interesting, right? These are just some of the things that we were able to identify. I'll keep going just so you can see like what we did. We looked at the gaps. Okay, what about, oh, how about this? What if we gap down? What if we gap up? So what if we gap down on a Friday? Is that a good day to trade? That was pretty great.
Pretty awesome.
How about if we gap down on a Wednesday? Was that pretty good day to trade?
Oh yeah.
Why do all the days on the calendar have a symbol in the future? I'm quite understanding. William, I'm not quite understanding what symbol you're talking about. Will
Deanna,
you
and
get
actually,
sorry, and will you get access to the spreadsheets? No, these are my spreadsheets. I'm sharing them with you, but we're still working through this. There's a ton of work here. One question as I'm following the past 5 for 5. The first candlestick, it's the 15-minute bar. So we're talking about a close above the first 15-minute opening range. Oh, okay, Graham, thank you.
yeah, Deanna, if you can hear me, if you can open up the chat for everyone, that would be totally awesome.
Okay, David, or David, yes, we do open. This is just analyzing when did the breakout happen. If the breakout happened at a certain time, right, then we want to just recognize that. We're not forcing a trade when there's not a breakout, right? Michael, exactly. So that's getting to my next point. We're at 522 trades right now, right? So this was something that I thought, and you can take screenshots of this data along the way. I'm fine with that, but I'm not going to like share out my entire spreadsheet. This is still a work in progress. Now, what about this? Let's check this out. Oh, wait, never mind. Well, look at all these losses when VIX was below 16. And I'm going to get to this later. I've got a better. We only won 47% of the time when VIX was below 16.
Yeah, and that was the first update we made for you guys, just because we found that early.
We already have that rule now in place about the 16, right? So here's some more, right? Gap downs, gap ups. Early works great on a gap up. 86% win rate when we gap up, and it goes early. Like if yesterday's close gaps to up to here and then it breaks out early, good time to get it. Okay. No, we're not letting go of the orb because this is the basis of the whole trade. This is why the trade is successful. Okay, so here's some of this data. We looked at everything, daytime gapping and the day and the time and the direction. We put all this together, right, just to see some things. And this is one of the things, like, Thursday looked like a pretty bad day, but Thursday in the first slide looked like it was a really bad day. Oh, wait. But then we saw like, ooh, if we were to get, there were certain situations where it was actually okay. Tuesday is kind of the same thing. There were certain situations it was actually okay. So I know this is a lot of data and I'm flipping through it fast, but here, let me just highlight things, okay? Actually, this is a big one. Gap and direction. This one's pretty telling. When we ever gap down, good time to trade, like today. Today we gap down, right? Puts were great, calls were great. We make money. But one thing to be careful of is when we gap up, sometimes calls are not as effective. Oftentimes, when we gap up, if this is our closing price from yesterday and we gap up, well, then we're going to fill that gap, and maybe getting a put here is a lot more successful. So this was something that I thought really caught my eye. We're very successful. All the other times were very successful except for here.
And just for your guys' understanding, the gap up, that just means anything over zero.
Yes, we didn't even measure how big the gap was. I did that later. But this initial test was just, did we gap up or did we gap down? So here's the bottom line. There's lots of data that we looked at, right? So what I started doing is this is the part that's exciting, right? The bad news was 2025 wasn't great for everybody after June 20th. But then we looked at, what if we put some rules in place that would capitalize on some of these things, right? And we looked at, just at least for 2025, if we put a couple rules in that would eliminate certain trades and then maybe double up on other days. Like, what if when it was really, really good? Yeah, John, yeah, I think we're going to get to all that when we get to, we're a bit away from, we really want to make this, awesome. And this is the other thing, like, Graham is super committed to making this absolutely the best program we can. We want a high win rate. We want lots of profits. We want everything really great. So we're going to make this a first class A+ thing that we do. It is evolving though, right? And as we just kind of started figuring out that the opening range, if it breaks, it does really pretty well, right? Yeah. And so if we could put the trade confidence level, right? So that was kind of where I was. What if we took each day and we ranked some of them as a 0 and some as a 1 and some as a 2? So some days we don't trade at all. Some days we just do our normal trade. Some days we put double the amount in. If we're trading $1,000 a day, fine. But then there might be some days that we do 2,000 a day. And then I even found a way. Graham, do you want me to talk about steroids?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I found a way where there might be a couple days when it makes sense to potentially put 4K in. Okay. So, and this is where we're heading. We want a system where we tell you, here's our trade today. Today's a day 0. Today's a day 1. Today's a day 2. Today's a day level 4. But think about if you had a 95% win rate on a certain setup. When that comes, wouldn't you want to really load up on that day?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this is where we're heading. It's not done. We're going through a lot of data, and it takes a lot of time. But I can share with you this. You ready? Put a yes if you're ready for the reveal of where we've gotten so far. All right. I think you're going to love this.
Yep.
I think you're going to love this. All right. So this is my comparison. Putting in, okay, I think this was, yep, okay. Adding in 2 rules, just 2 rules, 2 new rules to our trades. Let me show you. I'm going to reduce this size just a little bit so it'll all fit. How about that? Adding in 2 new rules since June 20th. Okay, let me show you this. This is where we were. See if I can make this clear. This is what we did, right? With just tweaking 2 things and adding 2 new rules in, which is pretty simple to do, it turns into this. So that would be an improvement of, our total profit since June 20th is $2,800, right? putting in two new rules gets a new profit of $8,131. Would anybody like to triple the profits and have your account look like this?
It's a
Just,
much prettier equity curve, that's for sure.
yeah, there's still some drawdowns,
Hmm.
right? Which we don't love. We want to make this smoother, right? But we're pretty excited to think that just two tweaks to this changes it from choppy to up and to the right, right? From choppy to up and to the right. Just adding two new rules. Now, those two rules, let's see here, those two rules. This is what Graham did. Okay. Yeah, let me see where I am here. You gotta remember what I did. Okay. Four new rules on steroids. Okay. So there's our two new rules. Now, I also then went and said, what about four new rules? I created four rules. Well, these were some of the tweaks. These were the four rules that I put in. We're only going to trade Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Puts, we're going to double up. Calls, we're only going to trade before 10 o'clock. Any gap status is allowed. But after 10 o'clock, we only trade calls if we didn't gap up. Yeah, you want me to shrink it down? Might be easier now that I'm not with text anymore and all
Hmm.
these little things. How about that? All right. So we went to four rules, and I said, what if we traded the whole thing with these four rules? Like puts, we're going to load up on because they were more successful. Calls, we're going to be picky about, and we're only going to trade on certain days. This was the results. Graham's trading from February 18th versus with if Graham had taken those four rules. So Graham would have made instead of 28,000, I think he would have made this is I think 46,000. Okay. Since releasing it to the public on June 20th, look at this one. This is what we did. Putting in those four rules, this is I think $22,000 profit. So this was about 3,000 and this was about 22,000.
And not a whole lot of chop in there.
Not right. Do you like the drawdown, right? Put a me in the chat if you'd like to see your account do this.
And just so you guys know, we're walking you through the data, the general broad rules. When we get to polishing it up and finalizing it, you won't have to worry about understanding every single rule. We'll do that for you, and we'll do that confidence
Absolutely.
rating too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to take care of all of it for you. Now there are some days when we put 2,000 in and some days we didn't trade at all. Right? That's the difference based upon our rules. These were the rules that I followed. Only Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Puts we doubled up. Calls we were very specific about. Now here's the last thing was actually next to last thing was what I noticed is that when we skipped certain days that were bad, that no, we kept the 50% target. Didn't change anything. Same trade, same everything. Just certain days we traded big, some days we skipped it. Okay. Um, I for one would be pretty happy to put $1,000 a day in and make 22 grand in 6 months. Right. But then what we noticed was that because we're missing some of this, right? Because we're skipping some days, when we did trade, it never, ever, for all of the 2025, it never lost twice in a row. I noticed this. So I thought, what if I ever do have a losing day, right? I lost on Monday. I'm trading again Wednesday. On Wednesday, I'm going to double up, right? Wednesday is going to be whatever I put in, it's times two because I just never saw two losers in a row. So that's what I'm calling trading on steroids. Okay. Look at this. 4 new rules on steroids. How would you like instead of 2,000, instead of this is since instead of 28,000, how about $66,000 profit and an 89% win rate? How about this equity curve in your account,
Now you guys see why he calls it on steroids.
right? Because we're really loading up, we're taking more risk, but we're really, really juicing it. Now, this was the choppy, right? This is since June 20th. Instead of the choppy chop, this is instead of $2,800 profit, how about $35,000 profit and an 86.9 win rate? And this is your account, right? Well, hey, Samir just hit the nail on the head. So look, why did we not, like, I finished this analysis 2 weeks ago, right? Why do we not just put this all out to everybody right now? Well, because outside the box,
It's a 10-cent buffer right now is
yeah,
what's set up.
right. 10-cent buffer on XSP, right?
Yep.
Is that what it is? Well, you had the losses days after day, right? Because you were trading
Mm-hmm.
without any new rules, right?
No new rules. Right.
What? So check out my steroids trade. Like, so here's my optimized, and here's my steroids, right? Did we ever lose? Here's a loss. Did we ever lose after that? Nope. Here's a loss and a win. Here's a loss and a win. Here's a loss, right? So then what if we doubled up the next one? Instead of winning 500, we win 1,000 because we double up after a loss. Double up after the next loss. See, I just did this over and over and over again. And so this green is the total. So what we found from 2025, right, was pretty remarkable. 20 grand profit, 45 grand profit, or 66 grand profit. All of those were better than our current 28. Okay? But what's the issue? Why not just come on here and say, all right, here's our 4 new rules. Everybody do this all the time. And we're guaranteed that what happened in the past will definitely work moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Does that always happen? Can you see the little downside, the problem to just assuming that what has happened in the past is forever going to happen, is forever going to continue? Type in the chat what your thoughts are about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's always 2008.
Change is the only
the
constant.
constant. Yep. And I'm absolutely curve fitting. No apologies. That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay. So this was 177 trades. Decent sample size. Nope, we didn't do that, Doug. We just traded it. Right? 177 trades. Decent sample size. Pretty good. But we want more. So what we did is we went back all the way till June of 2023. And this was work by the team that was very painstaking.
Yeah.
Right? But we looked at what the entry would have been, whether it's a win or loss, how that would go, very meticulously. And I'll show you that. And so this is what we're working on now. I'm sorry, I misspoke. 521. Grant, people are asking about our current trade. Can you check it?
It's up. We're in the money. We're getting close to the target. I think it was 30%, 40, well, now 38% on XSP, 22 on SPX, but both are all the way in the money. So we just need a small push right now. We should hit.
Awesome.
If the
So
markets were to close right now, we would win.
awesome. So far so good.
Hmm.
So what we did is we expanded it to now look not at 177 trades, but we're going to look at 521 trades because we want more sample size. We want to have more confidence. We want to know, hey, what happens when we have bigger dips and bigger hits and all that kind of stuff, right? And so this is the data here for those. Here's our 521 trades. We went back and we did all these trades here. There we go. Finally got to the bottom, right? Would you consider that to be a legit sample, John, and some others, right?
Yep. And
So this
we
is
would go back all the way till as far as we could. The zero DT options didn't start until May of
mhm,
2022, and they really weren't liquid till 2023. So that's why we went through 2023 here.
right. So this is what I'm currently working on. And I've got some analysis here, some things I think that you might like. But for example, the day of the week, when I go to 522 trades, let me see if I can make this big again. When I go to 522 trades, you see how, before Tuesdays and Thursdays were horrible. Thursday's still not very good. But look at Friday. Look at that compared to the other days. Huge. So there's some things that are just a little different when you look at the bigger sample size. Um, Here's something that's interesting.
And also, just for your guys' understanding, when we pulled this data, we use Thinkorswim ThinkBack. It's painful. We go one day at a time. We added 5 cents to the entries and exits to make it harder. So this should be the most extreme potential data, if that makes sense. So basically, whatever
Yeah,
it said the fill price was, we added 5 cents. So we had to hit a further target to collect.
correct. So we overdid it. We
Right.
overdid it so that we're not like, accidentally having better results than what people would have had if they were trading it. The one I wanted to show you, if I can find it, let me see if I can find it. Is it this? All right, yes, look at this. We haven't used the four new rules yet, Doug. We haven't changed our rules yet. We are still um, like going through this process because we don't want to look, we don't want to say here's our new rules, bam, and then get through 522 trades and figure out actually
Hmm.
here's our new rules and then change it and then change it and then change it. Wouldn't you like us to wait and get it all together and get it really good and have the most confidence that this is going to be predictive moving forward and then say, all right, here's our new rules and here's why and here's what we can expect, right? So we're really trying to be the best that we can for the members, and we're trying to do the best job we can. But what's great is that even without changing the rules, we just hit 10 in a row.
And actually, if you guys look, just to give you an idea of how powerful the rules can be, if you look back from when we first made that VIX change in the
Yeah,
tracker back in September, I believe, since September, since I can see my last note about VIX, the portfolio is up $20,000. So these changes do make a big difference. We want to make an
yeah.
even bigger difference here, but we don't want to rush it and do something that may screw us up.
I thought this was very telling, though. Here's why the VIX rule makes so much sense. Look what happens when the VIX is low, below 16. Doesn't matter if it's calls or puts, it's not successful. But when you get a higher VIX, then things start heating up, right? Interesting that puts were still so good with the higher VIX,
It's probably
right?
because stocks take the elevator
Like
down
today,
real fast.
right?
Yeah.
Uh huh. It goes down fast. right? So this is part of what we're looking at. Now, there's another thing that I've been studying a little bit. Anybody familiar with the one-day VIX? Gives you the volatility expected for that one day. Look at this. When the one-day VIX is below 9.5, we are very unsuccessful. If it's between 9.5 and 14.5, we're good. But if it's above 14.5, if we're expecting a lot of volatility today, because the VIX measures 30 days out, that's the volatility in the next 30 days. But what about the volatility expected in the next 24 hours? Well, when that is elevated, there's a huge difference in the trade. And then the other thing that's interesting is comparing how the VIX over one day compares to the VIX over 30 days. Because sometimes the VIX over 30 days, we might be expecting between now and 30 days in the future, not a lot of volatility. So the VIX might be kind of low. But what if we have an earnings announcement or a Fed announcement or something? And so today, the VIX for one day ends up being high, right? I didn't do the ADD, Michael. So this is the VIX percent, how the VIX compares. The one day compares to the 30 day. And we can see when that ratio is low, we are quite unsuccessful. Most of the time it's in this range. Every now and then, though, it really spikes, and that's when we can double our profits. So this is the kind of thing that we're looking at. I'm kind of giving you a sneak peek. I did not put together rules all together for this. The rules that I did put, I will share with you what I did, what I'm testing, if you want, but it's not. Well, we did. I actually tested the Vold, and I tested some things like that, and there wasn't enough of a correlation, Jeff. There wasn't enough of a difference. What mattered more are things like the time that we enter and the time that we enter, the VIX over one day, things like that. But I will share with you, here's what I have, right? Well, first of all, the holding all day data. Graham likes to do the holding it all day, right? This is over 522 trades. When we're in calls, 51%. But it's interesting that just having a tiny 1% edge makes money. Having a 2% edge makes money. So one of the things I'm going to study is how can we put a little bit of a tweak on the hold all day where we take this. What if we took that 51 to like 55? And what if we took this to like 58? It didn't take much to be able to make money. If we make a little bit of a tweak to this, I think we can make really nice money. So that's one thing that I'm going to be studying and looking at. This is as it is the trades that we took. Go ahead, Graham.
And it could be too, and again, we will do this all for you in the alerts, but it could be too that, hey, if it's Wednesday early, we get an entry VIX is high, we're going to hold all day. Versus if it's Wednesday late, maybe we use a target. It'll be more dynamic, and that'll all be spelled out. And yes, Flo says XSP just hit. There you go. Let's see if SPX, I need that one to hit too. Looks like we're right there.
Well, so people that want it now, like I get the impatience, but also we just hit now. We're just 11 for 11, even without doing this, right? We just want to get it right, and we want to do it one time well. And we want your accounts to look like those charts, right? So a couple things that I've done. Here's what I'll share with you. Over the 522 trades. Where's my, oh, it's my, here we go. Different one. I'll wrap it up with this. SPX just hit. All right. So I'll wrap it up with this. Just changing VIX, just putting some VIX rules in. So here's the thing, over 521 trades, it was barely more successful than just 2025. It only won $28,000, right? But just changing the VIX, just putting in a couple VIX rules, we were able to more than double it and really up the win rate. And that's taking what would have been 522 trades. That's taking that only down to only entering 279 trades just with VIX rules. And so what happens if we're only trading 53% of the time? Well, what we want to do next is the days that we're sitting on our hands, what's a trade we could take then? Right. And I think we could totally find a great trade to take on the days that we're off. Right. When this doesn't work, if we don't think we're going to get the breakout that's going to follow through, what trade would potentially then work? Maybe a trade that, waits for it to break out and then makes a bearish bet up here and waits for it to come back down and wins, right? So anyhow, more of this is to come, but here's what I'm excited about. Just even with this over 522 days, we're able to double our profits in half the trades, which leaves the other half of the days available to make money either way, a different way.
And Jason, there's no steroids here, right?
No steroids. There were a couple times that we doubled up here when the stars were aligned. Right? I put in a VIX rule with the VIX 1 day here, is what I did. So anyhow, some of this is still in progress right now. And I know I can beat this. This is part of it. I know I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of, and we just hit 10 in a row without even upgrading. So here's the takeaway, and this is, I guess, where I wanted to leave. I hope you know that, Graham and his team, we're all very committed to giving you the absolute best. We're willing to put the work in to be able to, let me look at all this. Just look at all the work that went into all of this, right? Look at all these things that we've tested and all these things that we're tracking, all this stuff. We're looking at all these different factors. We found some huge aha things, right? We're trying to do everything that we can. But for now, I'm going to encourage everybody to simply be patient a little bit. Enjoy the 10 in a row streak, right? I know it's a lot of data, right? Welcome to my life. But enjoy the 10 in a row, right? Enjoy the fact that we're having some success now. It's a good trade even with nothing. But we are excited about what's to come. And this is stuff that, like, you when we roll it out, it'll be the absolute best that we can make it. And I think everybody's going to be super happy. We don't want to roll something out that's going to be halfway. We want to roll out something that's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
And everyone in the chat, give a big round of applause to Jason. A big thank you in the chat for Jason. I know he spent a lot of late nights, probably got yelled at by his wife a time or two.
a
It's
couple
fun.
times.
It's fun doing this. But he's done just a tremendous job pulling so much data so we can get it right for you guys and just trying to hit it out of the park here in 2026. Obviously, off to a solid start, 10 in a row, so we can't complain. But hopefully we continue to make it better and better for you guys.
So to summarize, like, I would just land with, I have absolutely, like, I'm a trader. I take this trade. This is my trade. This is my thing, right? I want them. I'll make as much money as I can doing this, right? And so I'm not charging anybody for this stuff. I'm just doing the work because I want everybody that's made the commitment to it to have the best experience possible. And that's all this is. So I think for now, keep taking the trade every day. We know it works. The current VIX rule is we don't trade if the VIX is under 16. That's our VIX rule right now. and we will add more rules as we go. But it's a good trade now. It's gonna be a killer trade
Hmm.
in just a little bit of time. And hopefully, this was a peek into what we've been doing enough to feel good about it. How soon? I don't know. It's hard for me to predict. I mean, this. I'm spending about 2 hours a night digging through all this data, um, and sometimes I think I've got a discovery and I'm into something, and then I do all the work for it, and I realize, wait, that wasn't any better, and I just did 4 hours of work, and it didn't really improve anything. And then, so it's just hard to know how long that's going to take. But I mean, we've been 10 for 10 now while I've been working on this, so I think that's great. Um, so I win while we can, and there's Christmas coming where when we get some of these things out, I think we can definitely make it better.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. It's a very fun trade, and we're gonna make it even more fun, hopefully. And yes, I know we did have the rough streak. I tried to help you guys out, give you an extra 3 months during that, and then we're gonna, continue to go up and up from here. Again, thank you, Jason. And just like if you look again, just from one rule. If I make a little sum column from that VIX rule alone, so here's the last low VIX one. So I'll go from here and up. The
Yep.
total amount, and I should have grabbed that column. I messed up. Let me see what it was. 76. So if I just do through I 76, this includes today's winner we just hit. So $23,000. That's based on 5,000. So imagine Jason just showed us 1,000 producing a result like this over about 6 months. This is 5,000. So Jason's already way, way ahead of the game of where we're already doing, including the 10 winners we just hit. So very excited to see what we make of it, the rules we implement, obviously giving you guys a confidence rating, and if we probably will proceed with the steroids application of it, and we will let you know in the chat or in the Telegram as well when those specific allocation rules apply to.
Well, Jerry, it is in the Telegram, right? Every day, the Telegram is giving the debit price each day. Yeah, so I mean that's our plan is we want to have a zero, a one, a two, and maybe even a four on certain days.
And
With a 100% win rate, might be worth a four.
yeah, um,
No, I am getting paid for this, but I mean I'm not selling it, just I get paid for my time.
yeah,
I'm not
Jared,
doing all that for free. I mean, I want to make money,
right?
but I'm
Uh,
not selling my work to you. I'm not selling my work to anybody. I'm just trying to make Graham's program great. That's my whole
maybe
mission.
one day, maybe one day. Jared was asking, Jared, if you guys are wondering, when we post the entry in the Telegram, that means we are going to go ahead and get in at the mid price. You don't need to wait to see my fill for you to get your order in. So yeah, Jared, mid price.
And
You
for
can go
those of you
market.
that,
Market
I'm
will
sorry.
fill instantly, but I use a limit order at the mid price. So
Yeah,
okay,
no,
looks
John,
like a couple.
that was for 2025, and I will say that when I went back all the way to 2023, there were multiple losers in a row. So when I talked about steroids, that was what happened in 2025. But we wanted more, and I went back to 2023, and I saw that there were days that did lose twice in a row. So a little bit of caution, right? That's why I'm not broadcasting that. That's why we didn't say, here's our new rule for the whole trade. Every time we lose, we're going to double up. But it's something that we want to be looking at, something we want to be aware of, and we want to see like what would that have done. And I haven't tested that completely for the 522 trades. I still think it'd be good, but just be careful. It was a 100% win rate in 2025. It was not a 100% win rate going back to 2023. Hey, Graham and I match. I just saw you get a blue shirt.
Oh yeah, we do. There we
We're
go.
the blue shirt
Unplanned.
club. We're the blue shirt
Unplanned.
team.
Yeah.
All right, go Seahawks.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys all for tuning on. I know some people were asking about this in the chat. We're obviously doing everything we can. We brought on Jason to the team. We've got Florian, who's here hiding in the background today, trying to make this the best experience possible for you guys. And I think some of the upgrades have already helped, and it's only going to get better. So we just want to take a moment here to congratulate you on a great start for 2026. Again, now we're 10 in a row. Someone posted that they're letting it expire worthless up 2,000. I let one ride as well, just because I like to go for that full max profit. I'm interested to see what Jason comes back with on his max profit testing too, because that's like a 2-for-1 trade if you get a winner right there. But with that said, our goal is targeting that daily income in the 60-minute program, regardless of what the market does, and hopefully we'll make it so our alignment's better, our win rates are up at near that 80% range that Jason showed you. Now, this year's been great. So far, we've won every single trade we've taken. This doesn't even include today's screenshot, 10 in a row, 50% targets over and over again. And with the newest updates incoming, we want to give you the opportunity to own the 60-minute program for life. So right now, most of you guys are probably signed up at $12.95 per year, which I know we still have some time left here, but after a couple of years, that can add up quick. So we're going to celebrate this perfect win streak right now and say thank you and go ahead and upgrade your membership to lifetime if you want to. As a VIP member, you get the continued open-ended access to the 60-minute program, the Telegram, everything. We make all the upgrades. You don't have to make any more payments. Save the money on renewal fees. Plus, you get that legacy access as well. So normally that'd be a couple $1,000. Team here says it'd be $5,000. But if you want to, you can go ahead and upgrade to lifetime for, I believe, the price. I think they said it's under $1,000. We'll drop that link here in the chat. If you guys want to do this, no pressure here. We just wanted to make it available since we are doing all these upgrades. And I know it's a very exciting trade. And hopefully, I know we'll be trading for years and years. Hopefully, you'll be there alongside us. So I know we got some lifers in the chat here who are lifetime members. But for those of you who are not, if you want to go ahead and upgrade to lifetime, you can click that link in the chat. Again, no pressure. The team put together a special deal for you guys if you would like to do that.
And I would just add to that that I'm not stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to come up with what is best now, and then if we can keep improving it and keep improving it and keep improving it, we will.
Right.
And that's, you get all of that for the whole lifetime membership. You get any upgrades that we come up with, any ideas that we add to this, all of that is included, and we're not done.
There you go. $8.97. Someone was asking the price. Yeah, and also, ideally, we want to solidify the 60-minute rules first, so we nail those. We know the exact entries and exits. But as you saw, that eliminates some of the trades, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's okay to take half the trades if you're making twice as much money in total. That's a great thing. Sharon pointed out earlier that also saves you on fees too, which that's another great point that I didn't even consider. But ideally here, once we get the 60-minute directional trade solidified for you guys, we'll then look for the other ways to fill in the empty days. And if we don't find anything, we're not going to share something that's subpar, but hopefully we can find something good to maybe target a little extra income on those days where it's a little bit more choppy in the markets. And thank you guys for the kind words. Someone says the link does not execute.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. When I click it, I get the right one, but I'm having Jono double check it, but just in case.
All right, you can also, I'll just put, I think it was $8.97. Let's throw that here. You also, if you want to, you can call our team 904-706-3534 and tell them you want the $8.97 lifetime deal. Debbie, when am I going to do the lotto board? The lotto board would be later this month. I have a call with our head of the development team tomorrow at 2 p.m. to dial it in further because I'm still getting some wonky mid prices.
Yeah, Manny, we were basing everything off of a $1,000 risk.
Yeah, everything Jason showed you today was 1,000. Until he went steroids, that would be 1 to 2. If you guys miss this, the recording will be posted in the members area.
Graham, just confirming that is the link. I think people are getting confused because when you click it, it says get the unfiltered version, which is just a promo that we're giving to anyone who gets lifetime. But
oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it has the indicator that's not just limited to SPY, SPX, and XSP. Gotcha.
And one last thing, I guess, as people are talking in the chat, for now, I will share with you my own personal trading. I am trading much heavier on Fridays than every other day of the week. We saw that there was a huge benefit, or there was a huge success jump on Fridays. So if you want to take anything away, I'm not putting out any official rules or anything, but me personally, Jason the trader, I load up this trade on Fridays.
Yep. It's like when you're dealt a good deal playing poker or
Yeah.
blackjack, you might want to sneak your bets in a little more.
Doesn't mean that every Friday works, but
Right, yeah.
it
Kevin said be
doesn't mean
careful because
that.
now you said it. We're gonna get
I'm not
jinxed.
saying that, but on analyzing 522 trades, the significance of Fridays, though not all in, I'm not going all in, but I'm just, that is a big takeaway, is that Fridays seem to, for whatever reason, they move in one direction or the other. The market makes a decision. There are days whenever there's indecision days, and there's days when there's decision days, right?
Yep.
Fridays seem to be decision days, and a lot of times to the downside. We've seen some huge Fridays that drop off the cliff. So just the way it happens.
Let's see. Does the analysis for SPX mean the same for XSP? It's not going to be the exact same. It's going to be very similar though. If you guys had, I'd take both every day. If you had both today, XSP hit about 10 minutes before SPX. So sometimes it's a little different because the strikes are different. If they were the same strikes, it'd probably be just about the same. But SPX allows us to get those 5 wide strikes versus, relatively speaking, XSP is 10 wide. If we're going to compare apples to apples.
So, Barbara, if you open a trade and close a trade in the same day with that 50% profit target, it counts as a day trade. And you're only allowed to do 3 of those in a 5-day span if you're under the day trading rule. If you don't close it and it's an index like SPX or XSP, that just cash settles. And so there is no closing trade, so it's not a day trade.
Yep. So if you're like some of the people here who let theirs ride through the bell, which I believe if you did that, you hit a full profit, that does not count as a day trade. Awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up now. If there's any final questions, please post them in the chat. We are going to be following up soon with the finalized, polished up results. We'll do another masterclass before the alerts change or anything like that. So we're not going to blindly shock you one morning. We're going to do another one, but we did want to. It was supposed to be just Jason, Flo, and I meeting today, and we said let's just open up, invite everyone, and just so they can see what we've been working on.
Deborah, I tracked SPX. That was all my testing was on SPX.
Cynthia, yep, same thing here. I always let one run, but I have noticed, even like this most recent 10 trade win streak, that has not been the case for the full profits. Oh, nice. DE full profit, $2,000. Nice.
You're welcome. I can't say it's fun. Like doing the data isn't fun, but finding improvements is fun. Like I get excited when I'm like, "Ooh, if we just do this, look at the change in profits." Like that's enjoyable. Like digging through the data, that's no fun, but that's work.
Yeah. And Jared brought up a good point. Just if you guys are curious, XSP is great if you want to take a small, put $50 in or whatever it may be. SPX is going to be it's going to be bigger. So it's going to be 250. We'll call it 250 per entry. So if you guys if you're planning on trading $1,000, in my opinion, SPX makes more sense because you can do less contracts, save on commission, save on fees. So that's the difference, Jared. Thank you, Shannon. Thanks, Jim. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Thursday. And remember, Friday's our hot day. Jason's promised us a guaranteed winner. I'm just joking, of course. We can't do that. We can't guarantee anything, but we do know the data is promising for Friday. So let's hope we get trade number 11 tomorrow. The replay will be posted either later tonight or tomorrow. It just depends. We're on Zoom right now, and Zoom, after we log off, takes some time to process the recording. So we can't even pull it for another couple of hours at least. Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your Thursday. And Jason says, "Go Seahawks." I don't have a horse in the
Well,
race, but
some
I'll
of you
root for
might know
Jason's
that
team too.
I'm a public school teacher. I'm a math teacher, and AJ Barner was a student at Aurora High School, and he's number 88, the tight end for the Seahawks. So I'm cheering for my former student this
That's what we'll be rooting for.
week.
John says, "Go Patriots." Well, there you go. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Again, we will be back in touch when we have more solidified results for you guys. We'll walk through what the alerts will look like and so on and so forth. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everyone.
All right. See ya.